Yeah, mate, we got hards on. We're going to the end.
Brum brum, hard on. We got the hard on because we're going to the end. I am pretty late to the party. I'm apologising. Do I need to? I do, maybe. I'm pretty late for Suzuka. It was Suzuka. It's so long ago, I don't remember now. Yeah, Suzuka. I did technically do this already, but it sounded like shit and I had to delete it. So that's a shame. But we are here now to talk about Suzuka. The Grand Prix, which had, Sector 1, 2, 3 is the, rate my quali race rundown and the soft, medium, hard awards. And I have to say, quali was a snooze fest, guys. It was a snooze fest. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes Verstappen. He so quick and he win in the races and back to the lab again. It's back to the norm. Which is a shame. I think we all wanted to try and pretend we was existing in some fairy tale, and then we kind of got splashed with like ice bucket of water, woken back up, and it was like we were living this like life. We were like these sort of money moguls, in these 3-piece suits, donning about the place. We had nice car and that, and it was great. It's kind of like the episode in Rick and Morty where like he's living his whole life, he's living his nice life, and then he gets to 70 and he falls off his ladder and dies, and he wakes up and he's like, what? That was just a game, that wasn't even real. That's basically what happened. We had this fancy life, and then we woke up and it was, it's 7:30, the alarms beep, beep, beep. You got to catch the public transport, you're going to be late for your retail job or whatever. The manager's, back to reality, back to life. Turn down the saturation. We're back in sepia or whatever. Yeah. Verstappen was on pole, and very convincingly, and quali really just fizzled out. Like, I think usually what makes a quali good is like the order in which everyone crosses the line. And even if the result was the exact same, if Verstappen crosses the line last, it's just a lot more interesting because it's like he then snatches, he takes pole. And it's like a lot more exciting. When he's one of the first to cross the line, it's just everyone else not improving, and he just basically puts on pole bare early, and it's just boring. Everyone went out, like the teams who went out in Q1. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. They're the kind of teams that would go out in Q1. Fair. Q2, like there was no big surprises. Perez was there, Verstappen was there, he was here, he was there. It was just very, very boring. I'd have to give it like a 4 because it wasn't exciting. It fizzled out, and it was just pretty mid. Also, was there a red flag? Because I think there might have been a red flag, maybe. And just from a British bias standpoint, I'm lying there literally like the meme. I'm like watching the game at 6 a.m. Literally lying in bed, basically looking at the ceiling, just listening to the audio. I don't know why I struggled so much for the quali day. I just go to show I'm a terrible morning person, but yeah, that didn't help for my overall quality experience. I'm going to give it a 4. Going into the race, oh my god, man, the race. To be fair, I think Crofty was saying like, this isn't a great track for overtaking, but it actually was looking decent with the overtakes. So I'm just going to take what I got because apparently it could have been worse. How did it start? So we start off, Verstappen sort of again. He's teasing us. He's sort of, I'm going to get overtaken here by one McLaren. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm going to let the other one overtake me. And no, I'm not. Like, is he just playing games? Is he just having a bit of banter with us now? He's playing with my emotions. I don't like that. He kind of holds off both McLaren boys, like, sort of, when you just kind of, like, you're the big bully, and then you got, like, the 2 younger students trying to like beat you up, and you just put your hands on both of their foreheads, and they're kind of just like running at you. It was just kind of with ease. Well, I think at that point they could have, Max Verstappen, once he finished that lap, he could have just retired then, because as soon as he gets away, it's like, and the winner of the Grand Prix is, on corner 1 basically, which is crazy. But it's going back to ignore the leader, ignore the leader. So that's that. But it's fine. I mean, even if Norris like gets past, that doesn't last. I think ultimately what we haven't seen, like deep it, we haven't seen Verstappen have a mechanical failure or just crash out due to his own human error or like get crashed out. And it's because no one's really got a competitive car. Like no one's really willing to like dance with him like that. Like the way Hamilton did last season, was it no? See when the season before last when they were fighting, like Silverstone crash out because that was desperate. That was it's now or never. It's do or die. You know, if I can't let him go now or he wins this. I have to keep my nose in here. I have to go for this. Leave me the space. There's no space. What happens when you don't leave the space? But when no one really feels that they can fight him, no one's really willing to 50-50 it, go in with Max on a corner. Like, okay, maybe I'll lose my front wing. Maybe you lose yours. Maybe you retire. Maybe I retire. Who cares? I got to go for it here. Just take the gamble. No one's willing to do that because it's just like, it doesn't feel worth it. Everyone's fighting their own little fight. It's like, we're fighting for P3 in the Constructors. I'm fighting for P3 in the Drivers' Championship. We want to be best of the rest. We want to finish fifth out of, we don't want to finish last. Everyone's got their tiny little fight they got going on. That's a bigger priority. So no one's really willing to dance with Verstappen. It's like, okay, he's just going to go off and do his thing. And no one really believes they can either. Every single time in the interview, it's the same dead joke. Like, well, the Verstappen's like, he's unbeatable. He's 20 miles ahead, probably just listening to the radio. It's like, they're not trying. They're not even trying to trick us into it being like anyone having a chance. Like every driver is just some pessimist basically in the interviews. Like, yeah, no, we're dog shit. Yeah, our car's shit. Yeah, we're nowhere near the pace. Yeah, really had a really great race out there. You really took it to him. Nah, we're shit. Nah, we're dog shit. Nah, we're crap. Like that's just, they all just love doing that. But I think this was a race that was like the main talking points. I thought Piastri already had a podium, but apparently not. This was his first one, and even though it was his first one, the main talking point of this race has happened to manage to somehow be George Russell. Not for good things either. George has sort of cursed himself. Like ever since he did two things, which I think were when that lie detector video came out, and there was like, he kind of said a lot of shit in that video. He was kind of talking about how some people you can't trust when going past on a track. Some of these drivers shouldn't be here, and then the question was like, do you think you're quicker than Hamilton? And he was like, now, yes, I do. And it's just since then it's just been proven you're really not. But the thing is, he really does believe it because that lie detector came through true. He believes that. So this is when we got to think about, is George Russell deluded? Because to say I think I'm quicker than Hamilton, no, I can say that and believe, like, to like 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, your teammate. Like, it takes, whether you're in good form or bad form, or a good driver or a bad driver, or whoever you are, but like to come into like the seat and being like your second year and to believe you are quicker than Lewis Hamilton takes some insane amount of like whatever you want to call that, like ego or like self-belief or just arrogance or just whichever negative or positive word you want to give it, to genuinely believe, I'm quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, I'm quicker than like the fastest guy. I'm quicker than him, insane machinery. Yeah, I'm quicker. It's like insane. And then when he was also saying, there's like, what did he say? It was like some people are just dangerous, shouldn't be in the car, like kind of alluding to people like Lance Stroll and that. And then since then he's just been crashing and like driving people off track and shit. And it's like he is in not great form right now, especially because George Russell's whole thing was, I'ma do the what's the word? What is the word in Formula One? Not the game plan, strategy. George Russell's whole thing was, I'm strategy boy. It kind of felt like last season. Like, I know he got more points than that than Hamilton, and for a lot of people online, it's like, well, he got more points, so he was better. Who got more points that season? Well, they were the better driver. But it's like, use your eyes. I'm pretty sure last season even though Russell got more points, like Hamilton had like way more podiums and stuff like that, and it kind of felt like George Russell's thing a lot of the time was, I might qualify a little bit behind or I might qualify a bit ahead, but like usually it was like, I think it's raining. Pit me now, box me now. We're gonna do this, or we're gonna go long, and then it was just kind of we're banking on a safety car. It kind of felt like he was like, what's it? He was like he was just man of luck. Like he was sort of this high roll. Like I'm gonna put it on black, double or nothing. Yeah, boom, and everything would hit. He was just high on life. He like, it was. I'm gonna wait for the straight. I don't know, gambling. What was that called? I don't know, poker. I'm gonna flush world queens. I don't know. He was just doing that non-stop, and he kind of just got the. I'm the guy, and then all of a sudden he went put it on black, quadruple or nothing, and he went bust, and he was like, it's fine, guys. It's fine, guys. These things happen. Wait for the next one. All on black, red. All on black, red. All on black again, red. All on red, black. And it's just like now every single time, like it's like he hasn't got the pace and his like little strategy sort of gambling bets. His fucking ACCAs, his 20-fold ACCAs he's been putting on aren't hitting. Surprise, surprise. That kind of thing don't last forever. And now it's like he's just got to like go off pure pace, and it's like He's like trying to prove a point too hard, that it's like he's anti-driving. It's like if you just went out there and drive, you'd put together some good performances, you just let the world do its thing. Like Hamilton will get bad luck. These things will just happen on their own, and you'll get your opportunities to look good. It's like it's like what he's doing is this domino effect of, I need to prove I'm the best. I then do something bad. People then think I'm even worse than I am. So the next race I've got to try extra hard to not only be the best, but prove people from last week who think I'm the worst that I'm actually good. Then you make another mistake. Okay, now people really think I'm bad. So now I've got really something extra to prove. And he just keeps digging this deeper hole where he makes himself look worse by trying to make himself look like the best. And it's like, I like Russell. And I actually low-key ultimately like how he's behaving right now, just because it's entertaining and funny. But a lot of like the Mercedes heads, Hamilton heads who love him and like post pictures of like Hamilton at Mario World dressed as Toad. Oh my god, I could literally die. He's so cute. Like that kind of people, right? Literally hate Russell right now, because it's like, you come at the king, you best not miss. But realistically, actually, it's more like, don't come at the king, full stop. Whether you hit or miss, you're gonna don't shoot at the king. That is that's a crime. That is, what's the word when you do that? That's not mutiny. What's it called when you like kill the queen? That's, you guys know the word. What is it? That's, let's Google it. Let's learn something new. But yeah, that's basically what he's doing, and it's like, it's just stupid, George. Like last week it was, what was it? Singapore, and it's literally all Hamilton had to do was like, you remember like at school or like just in general, there was this whole thing where like girls would like put their hand on your chest and then like move their hand down and be like, it was called like the nervous game or something, and then be like, are you nervous yet? Are you, because you're like moving down towards your crotch area or whatever, right? Crotch area. But they would do that, like the whole nervous thing. It's like all it takes for George is for them to just like all it took for Hamilton was just to breathe down his neck. It's like, I'm nervous. He just like spans out. Like, just hold your nerve for like a second, George. Again, just trying to prove everything. All it took was for Hamilton just to kind of be like, hey George, can you go quicker? Bust straight away. But yeah, it's insane. So we'll be googling, what's it called when you kill the queen? That's not going to come up. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Regicide? Am I just pronouncing that wrong? What's it called when you kill a monarch? Regicide. They're all saying that. That's just not ringing any bells for me. Well, George, whatever this is, you doing it. Don't do it. People don't like it. Surprise, surprise. Especially British people. They big fans of the royal family, it feels like. Well, a lot of people are. And Hamilton may as well be in that, so be careful. A lot of people, in like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, when they're talking about the High Evolutionary, a lot of parts of the galaxy consider him God. Be careful. But yeah, no, George is doing his thing. I mean, this week it was all about just some bullshit, like, you're just not quicker. Again, he's like, fuck it. Aston Villa to win 2-1, United to lose 2-0, Chelsea to lose 3-1, like his fucking 20-fold ACCA. Like, again, please, it's like, no, let me borrow the money, please. I'm gonna borrow this money and I'm gonna win all it back. I'm gonna pay all of them back. Like a fucking gambling addict. He's like, again, I'm gonna go long, and it's just like this thing that's just not gonna work. I'm gonna just one stop strategy thing and hope for a thing it's gonna work, and then it's just like, George, it's not worked, let it go. And then it's like, again, he doesn't cash out, he doesn't just accept the L, he just has to take it. And then he's like, okay, but please, let me prove like, what does he get, right? I guess like getting a slightly better result for the team because they both finish ahead of Sainz, as opposed to one of them finish ahead of. Like, he's like, no, let me stay in front of Hamilton and then we'll switch at the end on the line, even though Carlos Sainz is literally crawling up Hamilton's arsehole right now, right? He's like, no, even though I'm slower by like 2 seconds per lap, I'm going to drag him along for the next 5 laps through DRS. We'll do the Sainz thing he did last week, and then we'll switch back on the line. Again, just trying to like land this like ridiculous fucking bet. You might as well bet that pigs are flying, the type of shit he's trying to bet on. And it's like, Carlos Sainz is literally up him right now. It doesn't make sense. And it's like, firstly, you want to switch online. How does that even... And for what? Why are we doing all of this risky... Because, like, at best case scenario, we managed to make this work. We somehow both stay ahead, right? Switch on the line, still somehow staying ahead, even though he's right there, right? And then that means we finish, I can't remember what positions it was for, but that means we finish 5th and 6th and they finish 7th, right? Worst case scenario, which seems very likely, is a little mistake happens, or you're not quite quick enough for you to be dragging me along to even be worth it. Because realistically, even getting dragged along by this slow tractor of a car right now, how worth it is that really going to be, right? But like, you just drag me along, okay? And Sainz sticks his nose in, or someone fighting, and then now it's you sitting dark left there with Carlos Sainz. Now we're both behind Sainz, which seemed so likely, and for some reason, right, the commentators, I don't know who it was, were saying, no, I think George is right here. No, they should have listened to George is right here. We're just like, are we just ignoring what we're seeing? Yeah, on paper, seems like it'd be a fine idea. And we're not seeing with our eyes right now that, like, for the last 2 laps around that same corner, Sainz is getting closer and closer to just sneaking it up the inside, right? It's like, it just didn't make sense. It was like all this risk for barely any reward. It just felt like a pride thing, like, no, I can prove something to you. And it's like, George, it's just done, like, except cash out, but he just never cashes out. And it's like, sometimes you gotta know when to let it go, and you let it go. But yeah, equally in that moment though, when Carlos Sainz is like, oh, they're doing my move. Oh, they're doing my move. Oh, they're doing my thing. Oh, how cute. Oh, it's not your move, Sainz. Like, it's not you. You're just cringe. Like, I like Carlos Sainz, but the intimidating me, radio, then the radio about when he was in front of the club, like, come on guys, let's just bring home good result for the team now that he's ahead. And then this, like, they're doing my move. These are all like such ick things from Sainz, because it's like, Sainz, regardless of if Sainz had a good career or a bad career in Formula 1, Sainz is grandchildren when he's like old and grey and he's like sitting telling stories about being a Formula 1 driver. without watching any races or seeing any footage, would believe that Carlos Sainz was the best racing driver to ever exist. Because he'll sit there going like, and then I said, it's on purpose. And then like to them, like on his wall at home, he probably already has like a signed race suit of himself with underneath the quote, it's on purpose and stuff. You know, like, and his probably his phone alarm is like, smooth operator. Like, the stories he'll tell his grandkids about himself, and then they did my move next race, and I went smooth operator, and then everyone, and it's just like, he just has this whole in his own head kind of thing. But again, I guess it's kind of funny to look at from the outside point of view. But yeah, again, he's like, they're trying to use my thing against me. Like, he's moving like some supervillain. We'll see how that works. And to be fair, it didn't really work, but it wasn't the same scenario, and it was never going to work. George didn't have the pace to even really be able to do that. It was never on the cards. Switch Hamilton around, and Hamilton's just kind of back there. Hamilton then gets in front, and then like, Hamilton slowed down now, right? You slowed down, and you drag George along. Drag George along in the DRS. And it's like, this is why, like, it just doesn't work. Like, it worked with Norris. Sainz was quick enough where he could go ahead. Like, Sainz, in the scenario before, right, it was Sainz, very quick the whole weekend, at the front the whole weekend, right? And then Norris, who had good pace, in his own right. In this scenario, the signs of this story is a slow George Russell, comparatively, especially to everyone else, and then Hamilton as the Norris. And it's like, if in the scenario, the signs of Singapore was Russell, he would have just got overtaken because like, you're not quick enough to actually do this whole, like, in that race there were times when like Norris fell out of the DRS because he couldn't, like, Sainz would just get ahead of him. Like, oh, let me get my buddy, you know. That was never a possibility, like, with the whole Russell thing. But whatever, we don't need to talk about it too much, even though we already have talked about it so much. But it's just, that was like the main talking point of the race. I mean, other than Perez just being an insane man, I guess that's also a thing. Like, he's the soft award of the day, because that was, he's just on a killing spree at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. If he thinks you get points for taking people out, headshot, bong, you're gone, elbows out, literally, bang, you're dead. Like, he's just going mental. He got double retired. Like, it's almost like, I don't know what's going on with Perez. He's just, at first it was kind of just, oh, he's not driving quick enough. Then it was kind of, he's making errors, mistakes, crashing. And now the issue is kind of like, his issues have been changing. It's not been the same thing. Because at first it was like, he's not qualifying quick enough, as I just said. And then it was kind of turned into like, he's spinning out, he's crashing, he's making those kind of like Albon, Gasly errors that they made. And now it's like, he's just driving crazy. Like, his what he's not being good at just keeps changing the goalpost. Is like, I've kind of actually fixed my qualifying. I'm being a little bit more consistent with the whole Q3 thing now. New problem. It's just like, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, that's just that. Anything else? Not really. All the story was kind of with Russell and Hamilton, and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know what's next. I think at some point it's Austin, but there's a race before that. I'm not sure what it is, but I was late to get this one out, so I just had to do this quick. I probably missed a bunch of stuff. All of this stuff has been traded over already before, so, you know, you've probably heard these opinions on like 100 other podcasts already, talking about the race. So we'll try and be quick with the next one. Soft, medium, hard award. Like I said, Perez is getting the softie. Medium, I might give to Piastri, to be fair, just because, yeah, he got third, but I don't know. I felt, from what I can remember, it was kind of quiet, that race, and Norris just easily had way more pace. Kind of just got past him and then 2 seconds ahead immediately. It was just kind of like it's crazy how that can be your first podium and I'm going kind of mid, which just kind of goes to show how good Piastri is if you're thinking that's mid from him, because you expect so much. And then the hard award I'm actually going to give to Hamilton, just because, like, he's just been so consistent. He was actually way quicker, overtaking people, providing a lot of the excitement for the race, and kind of just having to deal with like the whole, why can't I overtake him? Because George wants to do some bullshit, like he wants to try another bet. Okay, well, it's not working. Can I go ahead now? Yeah, you can go ahead. But no, because now you got George is saying you got to carry him to the line. So now drag him. It's like, okay, I'll drag him. Wait, what? Okay, never mind. George immediately got overtaken. Great. Now Sainz is right up my ass again. Yep. Okay, just deal with that to the end. Okay, deal with it. You know what I mean? Just gets it over. Gets the job done. It's like, sure. And at the end, he's literally turns into Kermit the Frog. He's like sipping iced tea or like whatever the fuck that was. What was that even all about? I don't know. Like, was that some brand deal or something? Is that a new sponsor of the team? Like, holding the glass right up to the... that's that good shit. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, he's like the meme with a cigarette. Like, it's a hard type thing, you know, but... it's Formula 1 is very performative. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, you can't, in Formula 1, you can't just struggle. You have to, like, outwardly show... Guys, I'm struggling. Like, as much as I believe 100% Hamilton's back was hurting after all that porpoising last season, it's like he gets so and he has to walk up to the camera and be like, oh, yeah, I'm okay, like, type thing. It's like, my hand, you see it? It's on my back, you know, and now it's like the, oh, I need that, like, this whole thing. But it's like, yeah, I get it to a certain extent. You know, he's dealing with it. He's going through it. But yeah, this was hard. So we got the hard one. We're going to the end. I look forward to the next race, whatever that may be. We got a week off now, so yeah. Thank you, Dankeschön. Goodbye.